Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Tonight, we're going to serve up a little company that decided to about face and change their mind. Rockstar. I'm sure everybody's probably heard about it by now, but Rockstar has acquired CFX. If you don't know who they are, you might know their community, who makes Red M and 5M, basically personal private servers for Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5. Basically servers that you could do pretty much whatever you want as long as you stay within the end user license agreement that has been lined out for you by CFX. There's been bad blood in the past between Rockstar and Take-Two and CFX because Rockstar and Take-Two have claimed that the CFX servers or mods are malware and they're against their terms of service, and they've attempted multiple times to have them shut down. They banned some of their developers from their communities over the past years, and there seems to be making up now. I mean, they did I think maybe a year ago where they were talking about trying to play ball and help foster the mod community a little bit more, and seemed like they were lessening their tone about modders and communities like this. But I honestly never played on one of their servers or got my own private server from them, but it sounds kind of cool. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos where I'm like, that's Grand Theft Auto's world, and it's because these players can pretty much do quite a bit inside of these worlds. You've seen like superhero mods and all kinds of other mods in these private servers that people do and just create mayhem in the Grand Theft Auto world as whatever they want, I've seen the Hulk one. I don't know if anybody else seen it, where somebody has Hulk powers and runs through and does all that. But that's the company behind this. If you've ever watched it or played it, I've never played on their servers, right? Because back in the day, there was a whole hoopla around if you got caught, if there was bans being handed out at times where if they detected the launcher for the other one or whatever, you could get a ban from Rockstar. Because they would say that you are running an unapproved mod or something that could do harm to their servers. So I always worried about that and never got into it. And by the time, things settled out between those companies, the fire had died down. I was already out, not really playing any Grand Theft Auto online or Grand Theft Auto at all. So, like I said, and I never watched a whole lot of anything with the Red Dead Redemption's servers, So, but they're playing nice now, and Rockstar has acquired them. So what does that mean for the future of Grand Theft Auto 5 and 6? Maybe a closer, tight-knit community and modern community with Grand Theft Autos. Maybe it's your own personal RP servers in the future, Who knows what's in store for this? I think it's probably a good thing for Rockstar to embrace the modding community and put some of this stuff in place. I mean, they already have they have like a community spotlight for stuff like this too, but it's all within the confines of their environment, typically from what I've seen, and not like from these other places. So, I think it's good for Rockstar and the future of their games, because it's more mod community friendly at that point. What I kind of wonder is how this will play into the future of like console modding. I know Xbox tried to dip their toe into the modding community and all this stuff, but it didn't really seem to take off in consoles. Now, PC mods out the wazoo for just about any game you want. Heck, even the new Baldur's Gate 3 already has mods out for it, that you can go get and put into place. And just think of games like Skyrim on the PC that just have a huge modding community that have done so much. They've even made the game look more modern, what the modding community has, better than the Skyrim remasters that have come out umpteen different times and different versions of that. The modding community pours a labor of love into what they do, because they're usually not monetization in what they do. Sometimes, but not usually, because then that kind of infringes a little bit on their copyright protection, and they would get shut down or gone after by the lawyers of those companies for, IP infringement, copyright infringement. So, but the modding community have done a lot for games in the past. I mean, I loaded up, was it Fallout 4 not too long ago, and just took a look at some of the mods that were out there, and man, they have done an amazing job with that game, as old as it is and stuff like that. So the modding community, especially on the PC, is just amazing for what they've done. I mean, they've cleaned up some abandoned games and made things just amazing. I mean, I think there's still a gaming community out there for Star Wars Galaxies that hosts private servers. It's been a long time since I did that, and I think probably a year or two ago I was getting a little nostalgia for it, and I'm like, that sucks. That game's gone, but there's a modding community and a gaming community out there that keeps stuff like this alive, because that's what they love. That's their passion. So I am all for this buyout. I just think it's kind of a slap in the face after trying to get them banned for so long or shut them down for so long. And now they're like, come on, give us a hug. It's okay. We were just playing. It's okay. We were just playing. It's a joke, for the last 8 years. It's just been a joke. It's just been a joke. It's okay. Do you forgive us? Come on, we'll buy you out. So I think it's a great thing for gamers. Maybe a little bit more mod community participation and love instead of hate from Rockstar for them. Rockstar GTA Online makes Rockstar a butt ton of money. So, they're probably afraid of this taking away from that, but it didn't. It didn't seem to do that. It just gave players more freedom to do what they wanted within the confines of that environment. So, Nick, what do you think about Rockstar buying CFX?
It's good for Rockstar, I guess. I mean, it might be good for CFX depending on, how much they bought them for and terms and things of that nature. But, Rockstar, I think, and this is one thing I've said before, and it's not confirmed or anything like that, but I think with Grand Theft Auto 6, they will introduce at the same time, or coming out around the same time, may not be the exact same day or something like that, but Grand Theft Auto Online 2. I think Grand Theft Auto Online will be its own separate thing. Grand Theft Auto Online was a part of 5. It's become its own thing now because you can download it separately. You don't have to download Grand Theft Auto 5 to play online. You can just download the online part and play that. But I think that's where they're going with it. And so with this, I think, yes, maybe they're going more in the modding community. Maybe they're going to try to introduce more of their own mods and various things by having a modding developer as a part of their staffing, right? And where they can create their own and kind of keep that money flow and those player bases internally within Rockstar, right? It's kind of like if you can't beat them, join them type thing. Rockstar figured, well, they can't beat them, let's just buy them, and then we'll just make it a part of our thing, right? We have enough people playing it or being a part of it. So for Grand Theft Auto 5, it might continue to go in the direction it's continually, or that it's going today. But for Grand Theft Auto 6 or Grand Theft Auto Online 2, I think that they're probably going to do more in maybe using this modding developer to create separate servers or host separate servers to do certain things, but still keep within the Rockstar realm, right? It's still a part of Rockstar, but they're just, you can do all the modding you want over here in our official mod servers, right? And stuff like that. Because I think Rockstar ultimately just wants to keep everything under their hat, right? And so if this modding community was big, and it seems like they were, like you said, it didn't take away from Grand Theft Auto, but it probably took a lot of players, probably took a good percentage away from them. And so they're probably thinking, well, we can keep this under our hat by just buying them and including this stuff, official Rockstar, right? It's under the Rockstar logo. This community now, these servers, and for Grand Theft Auto 6, it'll continue to be that way. You'll still continue to be able to do what you want in there, be the Hulk or assemble a team of Avengers or whatever within the Grand Theft Auto universe, but under our umbrella. And so I as much as I would like to say, I don't know, companies do a lot of shady things, and it feels like this is probably, I really doubt that for Rockstar, this is like just a thing where they're just, good Samaritan, like doing good for the community type thing. It's more of backhanded, business dealings where they can throw their money around, buy these developers, buy these mod community, and do something with them. I don't think they're buying them just to shut them down, but they're probably going to do something with them where it might, for the gamer, it might be good because you might get more mod support for Grand Theft Auto 6. But I think it's ultimately to keep it under Rockstar's umbrella, ultimately, right? You have other mods out there and stuff like that, but they're probably just not as big, right? And not as prevalent as these guys. And so these guys were maybe getting a little too big for Rockstar, and they couldn't shut them down. So they figured, well, we'll just buy them out and, put them under ours. The money they're making or whatever, or the player base that they're getting, now it's our player base, right? Increase our numbers, increase our possible sales by bringing this in there to the community that looks like we're the good guys. And for us, that brings in more players, which brings in more money, right? Ultimately. But I mean, it's good. It could be good for the modding community. Like you said, the modding community has done a lot. I mean, I've played a lot of mods and back in the day, I'm not, the only mod I'm playing right now is for the original Diablo. But, I mean, that game is old as dirt, but people still make mods, and they make really good, mods and additions, and sometimes even total conversion mods. You used to play those back in the day where they completely, I mean, even, what is it? What was it? Was it Blue Shift? Back in the day, Half-Life Blue Shift. I can't remember if it was Blue Shift or Opposing Forces, but one of those, which, there was two games actually. I think one of those, I want to say one of those started out as a mod and became an official game. And then there was another game. I can't remember what game it was. It started out as a mod. It was a total conversion mod of Half-Life. I can't remember the name of it. The game sucked. But Valve bought the game and released it officially under Valve's, and I remember playing through that game. That game, it was cool. The total conversion mod that they did, like everything was changed. It was awesome, but the game itself was not that good. Not as good as Half-Life. But Blue Shift, Opposing Forces, I want to say, and I might be completely wrong here, but I want to say one of those started out as a mod or something to that effect for the original Half-Life and turned into an official thing, which, so, I mean, stuff like that is really cool. And the community itself has created a lot of things and fixed things, right? There's a lot of PC ports or PC games that the modding community will fix the frame rates or resolution in them or textures or whatever way before the developer ever even gets around to it. So, yeah, the modding community is just awesome. If you can find some good mods out there to play with, and even for MMOs and stuff. I remember back in the day playing WoW and download. I mean, I don't know how many mods I had to make, better quest tracking and better bag management for item management and maps that were different that included more information for questing and parties and stuff like that that gave you more info. Like all that stuff was almost necessary, right? I'm sure still today, even some of those mods are necessary for WoW and some other MMOs. But the MMOs have tried to do a good job of introducing a lot of these things into the game, knowing that a community, they try to get around it by putting these things in there. So, but still, the mod community comes up with some great stuff that a lot of people have been wanting. So hopefully, maybe this will introduce and allow Rockstar to introduce more things that the community wants and the community enjoys into the next edition or possibly this current edition of Grand Theft Auto. We'll just have to wait and see what they do with it. So I don't know, but I mean, ultimately, I guess it's a good thing all around. I have my skepticism because Take-Two, Rockstar, they're big companies. They're always trying to do something shady. It's never out of the goodness of their hearts, but it just depends on, regardless if it's shady or not, just depends on what they're going to do with it, right? And we haven't seen that yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, maybe this is akin to like what WoW did, right? What was that Nostralis or whatever that used to run the WoW Classic servers, and they had them shut down, and then they didn't hire anybody from that studio, so it's a little bit different. But then they ran their own WoW Classic, and they started charging $15 a month for it, Maybe this is the whole similar concept to that Rockstar is just, and I can see where you're coming from. What do gamers have to gain from this is what I should look, how I should look at what lens I should look through this as, right? Um, I don't know. So yeah, are they going to start introducing a a 5M or a Red M servers and then just start charging people for them? Are they going to start doing something like that to have your own private server? Yeah, I could see that. Now that you have me looking at it that way, they are a company and they want to make money, so they're probably not willing to. They're not looking at what's best for gamers. And Rockstar has put out some good stuff, and they're an okay company. They're not, but they're also a company, right? So yeah, they probably are. You're probably right. How long before they stop these guys from actually making mods? They're going to treat them as a division of Rockstar, or division of Take-Two, or however the parent company structure is going to play out for this. But they're going to eventually say, you guys aren't making money, stop working on this and go do this, or we're going to reposition you in the company in another team or something, and we're going to shut this division down, or whatever, or silently that division goes away and nobody knows what happens to it. So yeah, you're probably right. They probably got nefarious things in mind and in plot for it. I hate to think that way, but your whole can't beat them, join them type thing is more like you can't beat them, buy them out, and force them to do what we want. Because yeah, you're a perfectly on point example of WoW with their mods. Like Blizzard supports that community though. Like there is, a crap ton of third-party mods for that game to do things that the regular interface doesn't do. But over the years, Blizzard has also taken those ideas, incorporated them into the game. Like I remember the old UI anchor mods and Cosmos and all that stuff. Now you can pretty much modify your entire UI within the game itself, and you don't need a mod for that. So Blizzard has incorporated some of those in there. But at the same time, I think probably the majority of player mods are much better than what these game companies put in. I mean, Blizzard's UI mod is atrocious. Even the way to modify it is not great. I don't like it. I'll still sometimes download another third-party UI mod based on the character or class that I'm playing, because the Blizzard one just doesn't quite do what I want it to do for WoW. Healing is a big one for me. I don't like the way Blizzard does healing bars and stuff like that. So I like other things like HealBot or something like that to use. And they don't do a good enough job of, having alerts for like bar watchers. Like from my opinion, healers are bar watchers. You're not watching the game a whole lot, which is kind of boring when you think of it, right? But it is what it is, unfortunately. So like you need something like DBM to tell you, hey, idiot, you're standing in something, move, something coming your way, get out of there, because you're like just watching bars and you're like, okay, heal that guy's gonna die, or whatever, so, but unfortunately now I agree with Nick. I don't know if this is a good idea now or not. I hope that they do right by the modding community, and these guys are going to head up some new role-playing server for them, but at the same time, Rockstar is not going to do it for free. And I, for one, have never played on a 5M server. Do 5M servers cost? They probably can't, right? Do they, or they maybe like charge you for server usage? That's probably what they do, is charge you for server usage, right? So, that way they're not charging you to play the game. They're charging you for hardware usage. So that's how they're staying in business, because if they charge you to play the game, then Rockstar would have a field day. Their lawyers have a field day with that and have already had them shut down. So I believe there is like a per month player based charge, just like all the survival servers and all these other companies do. They spin up private servers and you're not paying for the game. You have to have your own copy of the game or whatever, but you're paying for the usage of the hardware, right? So, but yeah, I mean, thanks, Nick. Thought it was a good idea, but now it's a bad idea.
You're welcome. And when I was thinking of Half-Life, I was thinking of Gunman Chronicles. So for some reason I was thinking Blue Shift and Opposing Forces, but I think those were actual like Valve ones. But Gunman Chronicles was started out as a mod, a total conversion mod, and became its own thing because Valve ended up publishing the game. Whereas the game was horrible. I remember buying it back in the day because it's like cool, and because it was in stores, like you could buy it in Best Buy, but it wasn't a very good game. But other mods, Counter-Strike, look at where that's gotten. It's still played today. And I think they're coming out with a new version of I think they're Counter-Strike Go 2 or something like that, or just Counter-Strike 2, I think, is coming out, or something like that. I thought I read.
Yeah, they're always making something new out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's I love the modding community, especially as I play a lot of PC games, and sometimes I just want a new spin on an old game, or I want to play an old game, but I don't want to play an old graphically. Everybody who's watched this already knows that I'm a graphics snob. I don't want to play something that looks like it's 20 years old, or 15 years old. Hell, I have a hard time with 10-year-old, but make it look like it came out in the last 5 years, and I'm all about it. I'm like, this game looks nice. It's polished. It looks like brand spanking new, and modders are responsible for that, not the dev community for the game or anything like that, but modders. So, and I love that. And there's usually no fees, there's no fees and no charges for this stuff. You just typically go out and find it, learn how you need to install the mod or incorporate it into the game, and Bob's your uncle, you're off to the races. So, I like that. And plus, it allows you to have your own private server. That's kind of the biggest thing to me in this game, because I don't know. Sometimes I don't like playing with people because they're just griefers, So, and then I don't know, man. That to me is the biggest thing sometimes, because I don't think GTA Online allows you to have a private server, right? It wouldn't be GTA Online if you had a private server. I don't know. I guess you could do a private lobby game or something like that. I don't know. But I'd want like a continuously run server while I'm offline, like you can with your own private servers. You can do an invite only lobby, but like I said, I want a game to continuously run while I'm offline, and I do some games like that. I've done Satisfactory in the past where I ran a private server at that, and Nick will hop on when I'm offline, or Nick's hosted private servers, and when he's offline, I can hop online and play. So you can invite your friends to it and not worry about getting griefed by some other players the whole time. So I'm all for that. But, modders make that possible for games like this. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to chat about on Rockstar buying CFX?
No, I don't think so.
You spoiled the soup for me, You spoiled the tea.
Spilled the beans.
You spilled the beans. You spoiled the tea for me. Thought it was a good idea, but now I'm not so sure. I'm pretty much not sure at all.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Did CFX go down screaming, kicking and screaming, or did they go away willingly? How big was that check from Rockstar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it was probably pretty large, since, or not. You never know. Starving developers and all, they need some money. And Rockstar came in and be like, hey, I got this nice, pretty, shiny new puppy. You want to play with it, And so they just lured him away. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Do you think this is a good idea, a good thing, or a bad thing? The CFX is now under Rockstar's thumb and Take-Two. Either there's bad blood in the past between them. Is that water under the bridge, or do you think there's some nefarious stuff at foot? What do you think? Let us know down in the comments. And as always, we hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.